Welcome back to the next episode of the eCom Growth Show. My name's Danan. I'm the host and the founder of eCom Triage. With me, I've got a very, very, very special guest, someone who's helped me a lot in the industry and has been there for a lot of the partnership conversations that I've had and will be having because that's what he does. With me, I've got Nick Penev. Nick, welcome to the show, buddy. Thank you for being here. And would you please tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, thanks, Danan. Only for you, man. I turned down most podcasts, but I cannot say no to you.
Thanks, buddy.
So I haven't done podcasts for such a long time that I almost forgot what I do. But I'll try to remember. So
I'll help
I do
you.
few things. The short version, I connect people in the Amazon e-com space, and I actually start making money from that. So I build like 4 businesses, a community. So we have a partnership agency. We help companies which are Amazon SaaS service providers or like D2C SaaS or apps and agencies to grow for partnerships. In other words, I'm a cheap guy, so I'm teaching people how to grow without paid marketing, how to do partnerships as a channel to grow your business. So we also have a newsletter which goes out to 30,000 e-commerce sellers. We have around like 70-80% open rate, so people like that. We use Snoop as our mascot to write some of the copy, so people like the casual style, and I guess I like it as well. We also organize webinar hack series. We've done probably 300 webinars in the space. Recently, we've been doing hack series with like 20 speakers. They compete, they share quick value hacks. Danan has been a guest a few times, and I guess sellers like that because, it's short, sweet, and it's a quick elevator pitch. If whatever you're selling or offering, if you cannot convince me in 5 minutes, you're not going to convince me in 50. So people like this stuff. The other thing we do is we have a partnership platform. We help people to grow the business by making connections, by trading connections. So again, there is no money involved. You simply trade your connections.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing, which I guess most people know me about, is my partnership community. We have 2,000 founders like you, Danan, part of the community. And we have a WhatsApp community of 666 members as of today.
That's right.
Which are the devil's number,
I think I came into that group when there was like 40 or 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
And to be over 600 now. So this is a WhatsApp group that Nick's talking about. And it's one of those places where it's all founders. It's not it's not like PPC managers, although nothing wrong with having a group of PPC managers, but when it comes to the running of business or the high level questions, this group is where those things happen. And so I've gotten a lot of value out of the group, and I hope I've also provided some value to people there as well.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few conversations out of that group. So
you're very active, and the good thing about the group is that it's unlike most groups. I have no rules.
yeah,
And I've only kicked out like 2 guys from 666 so far.
yeah,
And that's why, and because I meet everybody. You want to join, somebody recommends you, they need to book a meeting with me. If you do a no-show, you don't join. So you pay by giving me 30 minutes of your time for me to screen you if you're an SO. If I don't like you're not going to join. And then, of course, I tell you, okay, you can do whatever you want. You're a founder. You should be smarter than the average guy since you build a business, so you should know how to behave. I'm not going to mismanage because sometimes there's arguments in the group, not that often, and people come to me and they tell me, Nick, why is he talking that? Why he's talking this? I said, man, your guys are grown up, go and fix it yourself. I'm not your father. People, I know it's like a chaotic stuff, but people enjoy it because they don't need to ask for approval. We're not in kindergarten, so.
Yeah. And having been in the group since the early days of it, and really it's not even been around that long by contrast to many other things, but having been there since the early days, pretty much everyone's super respectful of not blasting the group and stuff like that. It's mostly a help. People ask a question like, hey, something complicated, like I need to get a medical test for this, that, or the other. Who knows a good company for that? And so there's so many agency owners in there that they have that experience, and almost always somebody's got an answer.
Yeah, that was the idea because I'm not sure, you probably are going to be surprised, but a year ago I didn't use WhatsApp. So,
Yeah.
and people keep on asking me, hey, Nick, let's connect on WhatsApp. And I said, okay, man, WhatsApp with WhatsApp. Why is everybody asking me for WhatsApp? And then I Googled and I saw, okay, WhatsApp has 3 billion users. I said, okay, man, that's why people ask about WhatsApp. And then I said,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna get WhatsApp. I'm gonna join some groups, and I joined few groups which are very popular in the space. But the one thing that I did not like is that only the admin can post. There's rules. There's people who, and I said, okay, man, you need to do it in a different way. So I said, okay, let's do a group, founders only, no rules. But I'm gonna vet anybody who joins, and I guess it worked out well. So
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. Well, cool. So, in this episode, I was just talking with Nick before we started. I think this is going to be, I told him, I think this is going to be the first episode that I've ever done that is geared primarily toward founders that are service providers to Amazon sellers. And he says he doesn't think so. And we're going to find out why, because in my experience in dealing with Nick, now he's been a seller. Wait, do you still have an active account? Are you still actively selling? Okay.
no. We sold everything like 5 years ago. So,
Okay,
but I
cool.
never sold on Amazon. So even though all my business inquiries are in the Amazon or dealing with Amazon, I never sold on Amazon. So we're on the D2C side for like 10 years.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, considering that he has such a vast network, his value to any seller is also is as vast as his network is. He has made a profession on doing partnerships with these companies in the Amazon space. So that means he knows. And look, I've been doing this a long time too, but Nick has easily triple, quadruple the network that I do easily, and probably stays in better communication with him. So let's dive into the questions, Nick. I've got a list of 5 here for you. You ready to go?
Hey, man.
Let's do it. All
Let's
right.
go.
Question number 1. What inspired your pivot in 2020 from running your own brands to advising others on how to grow through partnerships?
A pure luck and an accident, you know. So
Okay.
I'll tell you the short story. So I sold my business. I was using this company called Hello Tax as a client. So they were doing my taxes in Europe. So VAT, which is the sales tax in the States. The founder are ex-Amazon sellers. And we get to know each other, and they saw that we're doing a lot of partnerships and affiliates from my supplement business, because in my supplement business I had like 20 brands, 50 employees, and we're doing like 25 million. So and we stopped doing paid marketing in 2016. So I've been doing partnerships for a long time, and they told me, okay, Nick, you're selling the business. Can you come on board as an advisor and teach us how to do partnership, how to build the channel, the team, in other words, how to grow that? And I said, okay, I mean, let's do that. I mean, my wife told me that you cannot retire like 30 something, you know, you're old. You cannot just read books and waste, you know, your best years. You know, you should make more money so you can go on more vacations.
Uh,
I made up the last part, but pretty much she told me, no, get going with something.
I
I said, okay,
mean,
man.
listen, I've known you a few years now, and most of the years that I've known you to be on vacation. So,
No, not me actually. I'm never on vacation. I'm most of the time
oh,
on workation.
workcation.
Yeah, and every quarter we pay ourselves a vacation to a place that we've never been. But let me go back to the. So they told me let's do that, and I said, okay, man. I would just think to myself, sounds boring, but I like partnership. So I started actually advising them, and quickly, you know, in a matter of a few months, I told them, okay, we're gonna do stuff differently. You guys are tax guys, but we're never gonna talk about taxes because everybody hates tax. We're gonna build a community of partners. We're gonna do a lot of stuff with them. So the name of the company is Everywhere, and we're gonna be the expansion to Europe partner. So, and we started actually doing that for we got probably a few hundred partners in the first few months, and then partners started asking me, "Hey Nick, you know, can you help us with partnerships?" And I said, "Okay, man." He just gave me an idea. I'm gonna set up a business. I'm gonna call it a partnership agency, and we're gonna provide something which we call like growth for partnership or partnership as a service. In other words, we use partnerships as a growth channel for a company, because the best connections for service providers, for agencies, even for sellers come from connections. Because if we don't have connections, sometimes you're lost. So you said that is not tailored for sellers, but I'm going to disagree. A seller get their account suspended. I know the
Yeah.
best fixers. A
Yeah.
seller has negative reviews. I know you. A seller wanna get compliance in Europe. I know people for so no matter what you need, if you know people or if you're part of a community, you can get help for that. So and always, I mean, it started by accident. I was just connecting people in the beginning, but people saw that as a value and said, okay, I'm gonna build a business because I'm really quick in executing stuff. So I have an idea. I said, let's go. I don't think too much. I
Mhm.
start and then I optimize it, because our service have evolved a lot since we started, but pretty much connecting people, monetizing people, and building complementary services on top of that to add more value for what we do. So that's pretty much now how I started. So I'm not like people who think too much. Okay, that's my baby. I sold my brand. I don't care, man. I was sick of managing the brand. I hated inventory, logistics, and this kind of stuff. So I like the
Yeah.
digital stuff more.
So do I.
You don't have like tariffs. You don't worry about imports and this kind of stuff. So I guess I enjoy it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I do too. And I've been selling on Amazon for 15 years, and I have most of that time has been not private label. I actually don't like private label because of all of the logistics involved. And my hat off to everybody that does do private label because that's a lot of work. And I don't like doing that much work of tracking everything and stuff like that. So that's why I went down the route of partnering with brands to be their basically it's brand management on Amazon, but with these companies that are not Amazon first companies. And I
Yeah.
love
So
that
so
model way more.
again, partnerships. Again, you have partnerships. So
Yes.
and that's what I'm giving an example to everybody. Like for brands, I mean, you might be the greatest brand in the USA. If you're not selling in the rest of the world, you're not a global brand. And usually, you need partners to make the leap to Europe, to other markets. Like, see, Coca-Cola, everybody knows Coca-Cola. If they were like selling in the States, I mean, they'll be a big brand, but they're not going to be a global brand. Any seller should be targeting global growth, and the easiest way to do is through partnerships, because you kind of pay for the knowledge and the know-how of the other people
Okay.
who have done it already.
Okay. So let's this tailors well into the next question, which is what are some of the largest cultural or operational differences you've encountered when building partnerships in regions outside of your own different cultures, and how do you consistently deliver value to the people that are just all over the world?
I mean, to be honest, I mean, there is no such thing as culture differences or anything. For me, there is like two type of people, like reliable and unreliable. I don't
Mhm.
care if you're like from the States, from India, Mars, Antarctica. I mean, I pretty much have the same offer, the same blueprint. It's not an offer because we don't make money. We give value to people who meet me and join the community, and then eventually we become business partners. So uh, to be honest, I mean, if you're reliable, if you're active, I mean, you're gonna do well. So I don't have any different. I cannot say that there is any difference with doing partnership with another, like a person from one country or another. There is unreliable people everywhere, and there's reliable people everywhere. Of course, some countries know they're less reliable, but overall, I mean, there is cool people, good and bad apples everywhere. So
Yeah, absolutely. I
yeah.
totally agree. I have a theory on that, and that is that the further away that you get from major city hubs or the coast, which also attracts a lot of people, the lesser there are the asshole the let's see, what is it? The asshole per capita goes down. So there's less assholes per square mile the further you go outside of these major cities, and there's just a lot more polite people that have great manners. At least I found that way in the States.
I think in our space, I mean, they're mostly cool people, of course,
Definitely.
and even I had people which I was told from other people they're not cool partners, they're not reliable, and I tend to work very well with them. So I think usually some people have issues with partners because they're not kind of like straightforward. For example, somebody say, okay, do a webinar, nobody promotes. Okay, man, did you tell them you do one, two, three? Did you follow up and tell them, okay, guys, did you do that? So you need to be reliable, but need to require the same from other partners. So if you let it fall, if you're lousy, I mean, lazy, I mean, they're not gonna. So usually, we have a saying in my country: you get what you deserve. In other words, I mean, if you don't require that, sometimes you're gonna get nothing. So
Yeah.
it depends. I mean, so
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I definitely have had my own experiences with that where on co-marketing where you make an agreement, but I've not provided to them what we need to do, and then nothing happens on either end. So that was a big when I realized, oh, well, it's not just like, hey, I assume you're going to do this and you assume I'm going to do this. Having it all laid out definitely is the most critical thing. You know what it comes back to is in your company is SOPs. If you want something done right and you want it done right every time, but you don't have it written down as an SOP that anyone can get trained on, it won't always be done right, and it's subject to change over time as well. So you could have somebody that you train doing it right, and then suddenly they start doing it wrong because some little thing changed. You go, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, "I don't know what I'm doing different. It's just not working anymore." It's like, "Oh, well, we
yeah,
don't
man.
know because
So
it's not written down," you know?
yeah, yeah, man. I like this kind of stuff. I have like blueprints for almost everything, and the result of guys who actually have very good systems. I mean, so I'm not usually very organized, but I write down everything. I write reminders to myself. I have an idea, I write it down. So
Yeah. Well,
Notepad is my best friend.
I mean, yeah, I wait, what's your best friend?
No, Notepad
Notepad.
and Google Task. If I share in my calendar, I have like a task, like meetings. So, and I tend not to forget anything. For example, I need to do something. I have okay today this and that. So
Yeah.
really simple stuff, but you don't forget. Or for example, okay, push people to do that. For example, for my webinar, everybody who sent the invites, I sent okay name of the person, LinkedIn invites done. So, and then I can say next week, hey, what's up, man? Everybody send the invites. You haven't done so.
I agree,
So,
man. You're really good at that. I struggle to find a system that works for me. I've got an iPad that I take notes on. I've got written paper that I take notes on. I've got my phone right here that I take notes on. And I struggle to, I'm still looking for the perfect system for me because if I just jot down notes on a piece of paper, it gets lost when I turn the page, right?
yeah.
And um,
Let me show you some, Can I share my
do
screen?
it. Yeah. Teach me.
Yeah, man, let me do that because this is, a lot of people don't like Google and like G Suite, Google Suite, or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
but
I
I
use it.
think it's perfect. Okay, so see this is what I do. So this is my calendar.
Yeah.
So every day, whatever I have to do, see, these are the meetings, this is like some off stuff. So see, there's like small task here. For example, Scayul WhatsApp group. So we have like the post for each day of the week, like a small copy. Hey, Monday, poll of the week. Tuesday, function terms. Thursday, how many peeps we have. So once the day is over, which was done for today, what I do, I just reschedule for tomorrow. So I don't forget anything. So let's say I have a guy who is doing boosts on my LinkedIn. Okay, he did that for today. So what I do here, I just reschedule for tomorrow. Then like the webinars. Now, see, I have like next. What should I do next? Send copy to clients and promoters. Invite people on LinkedIn next date. So we did the invites today. So we're gonna do it next. I think Tuesday.
So
So
you're
here,
using Google Tasks really heavily to remind you on what to do, and then you just put all the data right in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, see somebody send an invite, I just come here, edit that, and I put here. For example, I think
I
Carly just
gotcha.
did that, so I just copy that and see Carly, she's done with that, and then I know. So then and then of course, and until I clear my notes, I know that the day is not over. So and
Okay.
then of course we have like the webinars, like the posts that we're doing. We have like the actual post here, embedded. So in other words, I mean, this is like my calendar. I don't use anything. I just use it on my notebook. I don't see, like I put like green for podcast webinars, like pink for meetings, notes. So not business stuff here. So it's, and you don't forget anything. I mean, you just keep it here. So if you need to reschedule something or just move it for if you don't have time. So, but you tend not to forget, and then Google Calendar reminds you if you have like a pending task from the previous days.
Right.
So
Yeah. That's awesome. I like that. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that out and see how it works for me. Well,
works
cool.
well, man.
Yeah. All right, good. I'm gonna go into the next question. And then after this podcast, I'm gonna book a consulting session with you.
Yeah, man. Those sessions are free and all that. So
I know, I know. I know. Yeah, what I'll say it again, Nick, you are one of the most helpful, if not the most helpful person in the Amazon industry because you just help people. And I try to do the same thing and I tell my clients, "Hey, is there any other way I can even people that I don't take on as a client when I'm in a meeting with them, if we're not out of time and I don't have to immediately jump on to the next meeting, I ask them, "Is there any other way I can help you?" And most of the time people are like, "Oh, no, I'm good, thanks." I'm like, "Okay, but what are you having? What's your current challenge?" Everyone's got a challenge for right now. And if you can shortcut the process of, they've I don't know, they've got split reviews on their products. So they've got 5 different products and one of them shows a 3.7 star and the rest of them are all 4.5, right? Well, that's a problem for a seller, and if they don't know how to handle it, I know a person that can handle it, you know? Um, in this case, it happens to be me, but, in other cases, refund management, there's just anyhow, I'm trying to be like you. That's what I'm
yeah,
trying to
man.
say, Nick.
My wife tells me that I'm running charity. Why do you help all those people? And I tell her, I mean, I'm a sales guy. I mean, the best way to sell is by
Help.
helping people because
I
you
say
turn
the
them,
same thing.
yeah, into brand. I'll give an example. Let's say you meet somebody, regardless of what you do, is a service, and they ask for something that you don't provide. And 99% of companies, they say, okay, we cannot help with that. End of
Right.
story.
Yeah.
And usually what they say, okay, I cannot help with that, but they have a partner for that. So
Yes.
you make an introduction, they get helped. And even if this client doesn't become your client, they're going to remember that and they're going to say, okay, I spoke with those guys. You know,
And
we
they'll
didn't
refer
use them for
someone.
what exactly.
Yep.
You turn them into brand. And I actually gave this advice to the aggregators. I used to have 10 aggregators as clients. And one day, somebody from my team found like a big brand doing 10 million, very good brand, and I sent it to Trustio, which was one of the clients. And they say, okay, I like with the brand, let's chat. And then I messaged the brand owner, and she said, who? Trustio? No, I don't want to chat with them. I said, okay, no worry, we have other aggregator clients. We're gonna connect you with them. No, I don't want to chat with you if you're associated with Trustio. And then I went back to Trustio and said, Jim, this what happened, and he told me, okay, it seems that this brand, they spoke with our team in the States and they turned her down. So she was very disappointed that she got turned down and she didn't want to do anything with them. So, and I told them, guys, that's totally messed up. If somebody is not a good fit, you should have a list of partners. I used to call them incubators. Build an incubator of partners who are going to help your clients to get better. And even if they never reach the level to be acquirable, to be a fit for you to acquire, they're gonna remember that and they're gonna refer other people. But when you turn down somebody, they're gonna hate you. Like when you turn down a girl or a boy.
Mhm.
People hate it forever. So same with like business. I mean, you got turned down, they're gonna remember that you're the asshole that did not help and did. But if you help them, they might become your brand ambassador and might recommend 5 other people to you. And
Yeah.
so it's a simple hack, no money involved, just a little effort. And people are lazy; they don't want to do the extra effort to do that. So
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome advice. Thank you, Nick. And I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I have long felt and operated under the uh operated as help is the best way to do sales because by helping people, you build brand authority or personal authority or whatever. And there's just nothing better than that. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. If I can help you, I will try, or at least I'll offer. Some people don't want help, and some people can't have help.
yeah, of
I
course.
love
I mean,
them to
if you
death,
don't
but
want yeah, you cannot force it. But even sometimes, if I don't know something, that's why I have the group. By the way, I know somebody who would know. So I might not know, but I know somebody who's gonna know, and I guess people like this kind of stuff. So
Yeah. I'm the same way. Yeah, I tell people if I can't help you, then I know someone that can help can help you, and if they don't know, if they can't help you, then they know someone who can, you know?
exactly. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't cost you anything, just like a small effort, you know. That's it.
Exactly. It is truly just an email. All right, cool. Well, we're getting close to our time here, so I'm going to move on to the next question, which
Okay.
is having hosted over 300 webinars, which is crazy. What have been with HelloTax? What have been the key ingredients in making those webinars engaging and impactful? And how do you consistently deliver value to attendees? And I think I know the answer to this question, but considering I'm doing my very first
Mhm,
webinar
mhm,
in the style that you do, I really
mhm.
want to know the answer to this question.
Yeah, so to be honest, I mean, I started doing webinars by accident. You know, when I was advising HelloTax, that was probably 3 months into our cooperation, and I told one of the co-founders, "Hey, Christoph, we're gonna do webinars. You're gonna be the speaker." And he said, "Okay, let's do that." And I organized some webinars, and then the day of the webinar, Nick, I'm stressed for my other business. I cannot talk. I said, "Okay, man, are you crazy? Who's gonna be the speaker?" And he said, "I don't know." I said, "Okay, man, screw that. I'm a sales guy. I'm gonna chat. It's not that hard." And by accident, I started doing webinars. I liked them. I saw that you get value, and I started doing more and those. So to answer your question, how we keep on doing those and they work. So it's really simple. We have like a blueprint step, like 20 steps, how to do a webinar which converts, which gets people to attend, and which gives value to the speakers and the audience at the same time. So like anything, it needs to be fair. So first thing, you recommend different speakers. You don't have the same guys over and over again. So of course, I've had people who've been several times as guests on the webinar, but usually have like 4 or 5 speakers. Right now we have 15, 20 for the hack series. So there is so much value for free that you should be crazy not to attend those. Not not all the content is great, but having more means bigger chance of actually gonna get something valuable after that. So that's for the attendees and people like this. I've spoken with somebody last week. He told me that he likes the format, and my idea behind that is no, it's short, but you should grab the attention. You're not here to read a book and listen to you for like 10 hours. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's enough. If you're interesting, if you're sharing something valuable, people can get in touch with you and they can get the full stories. Like short, sweet, to the point, not wasting time because people are busy. They don't have they have a little attention span. So I'm just doing what I think it's great right now and works, and it's really easy to organize. Also for the speakers, everybody who participate in my webinars, they need to promote. I have rules on how you should promote, and I tell them I'm very straightforward. You come, you tell me you're gonna promote, you don't promote, is the first and the last webinar we do with you. As simple as that. Because I don't expect the same signups from everybody because people have different laws. I expect the same effort, which means if you don't give the effort that the other guys are doing, you were just not gonna do it with you. And I guess people like this straightforward approach, and it works well. I mean, and I like it, to be honest. And I just expanded on that. We even have that as a service. Now we have clients which we do webinars as a service. Now we kind of organize it for them. My team organizes it. We recommend the speakers. We give them the blueprint how to promote, because the goal of the webinar is to give value and grow your audience, grow your
Yeah.
newsletter, give them more content, of course, sell your service, and build a brand and authority. So
Yeah. I love it. Awesome. Thanks, man. Well, I am I have every intention to follow in your footsteps. So you've taught me a lot. All right, cool. Let's see where are we at? We got time. We got time. Okay, cool. So next question here. Given your deep involvement in e-commerce and cross-border expansion, what emerging trends like marketplace diversification or changes in VAT regulation do you see as most impacting partnership strategies over the next few years? So where are we
yeah,
going to go?
yeah. I'm gonna start with the second question about the tax
Okay.
compliance VAT stuff, because
Yeah.
Europe is gonna become easier to expand. Right now, You've seen my post on LinkedIn. Every week I post about the expansion opportunity to Europe. I'm using Snoop, I'm using Jeff Bezos, I'm doing a lot of jokes. I'm telling everybody, US sailors, or as I call you, US peeps, you guys love Europe. You come to vacation to Europe, you spend 2 to 10K for your vacation. At the same time, you're not willing to spend 10K to make money in Europe. So you guys are spending money, you don't want to make money. So the trend would be for US brands to actually expand internationally, because right now they go to Canada, Mexico, but they're small. Europe we have 750 million buyers, the highest average order value globally. So Europeans usually like premium stuff, they don't like cheap stuff, and they're paying like more. For example, a lot of supplement brands actually increase their like sale price with like $10 when they sell in there, and people buy that because they like
Really?
premium stuff. And so profit margin is higher, and there's only
Wow.
1% of US sellers who sell across the whole EU on all the marketplaces. So in other words, uh, sellers are scarce of the components. So the next big market to expand is Europe, and Amazon, it has only 20% market share in Europe, for example.
Yeah.
So, so, so if you cannot do time traveling, you cannot go to 2010 and start selling in the Amazon in the States when it has like less market share. You can go to Europe, because Europe is hard because it's segmented. There is like some small players which Amazon cannot beat yet, but overall they're the biggest player and they're slowly growing. Once Europe, they're gonna remove some of the VAT compliance bullshit. In other words, it's gonna be much easier to get the VAT and start selling. Once this happens, it would be too late. So the idea is to start expanding right now when it's a little harder. And when I say harder, it's not that hard. You just need partners like Hello Tax and some of my partners.
Hmm.
Because once you enter the market right now, in many niches and categories, you're going to be probably the only player. Other thing, you're in the review space. So reviews are transferable. If you're a brand having like 1,000, 10,000 reviews, you go to Amazon Europe, boom, you have
Yep.
10,000 reviews. So
Yeah.
you have an advantage compared to local players. Also, you're coming from the fiercest battleground Amazon.com. So Europe would be really easy once you deal with the compliance stuff. So Europe is the next big thing. Latam is also a huge market, even though it's gonna take more because it's a huge population, it's growing. But Europe is probably the easiest thing because I mean people buy expensive stuff. You know, online sales are growing. So I think that's it. And of course social commerce, but TikTok, they're pushing very hard on Europe. After the USA TikTok, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. For me, TikTok is gonna stay, but they've been pushing like crazy in Europe since that happened.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. So I actually sold in Europe. I think in 2015 or something like that. Amazon reached out to us and said, "Hey, if you guys will sell in Europe, we'll help you set up your entire VAT and everything." And we said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And so, funny story, that was actually Avask that helped me, that was working with Amazon at that time. So they set up our VAT way like a decade before I ever even met them. And,
Hmm.
but yeah, so we definitely we got in super early to Europe, and and we did okay with it, even at that time when it was only this is pre-Brexit, you know?
Hmm.
So you just had to send in inventory to England, and it went to Germany, Spain, France, Italy, and our biggest, even though we were sending all of our inventory to the UK, our biggest customer base was Germany.
Yeah, Germany is the second biggest market after .com. So,
Yeah.
but I think one of the mistakes and why less sellers are going to Europe is Amazon. They could be pushing that more because, for example, with the VAT, with the Vask and some other companies, they offer free VAT. And usually they pay very little, the providers like Avask and other companies. And when you pay peanuts, you get peanut service.
Yeah.
So sellers don't get service well and they give up. And so you need to hold their hand to make sure they're going to expand. And I
I
think
I
Amazon has
agree.
the resources for that. And if they help you out, the brands are going to stay in Europe. They're going to make money. Amazon is going to make more money on the fee. So everybody's going to benefit. But I don't think they're doing a good enough job for that.
Yeah,
No.
I totally agree with you. I mean, this was super early, and all they did was set up the VAT. there was no like I didn't know the company that did it. It was we had a person at Amazon that helped us. And he said, "Yeah, cool. We've got the VAT. Here's your documentation, blah blah blah." I didn't know what I was doing, so I paid the HMRC on import and on sales. And so I'm like, "Man, selling in the EU sucks. Like we're not making any money here." But it turns out I was double paying my VAT.
Yeah, you need to
Um,
deduct the import VAT. So anyways, I mean, you just need partners who are gonna advise you the best, because
yes,
VAT is not the only thing. You need to have obviously logistics, product compliance, translations. You cannot. So there's like four pieces that you need to do to make it successful. I'm not sure how they do it right now, but I
me
think
neither.
they can do. I'm joking that Jeff got married in Europe, so it's a sign that this is the next big place to be. But I think they need to try more. But I know that he's not actively running, even though I'm always joking with him.
I know, I know. Yeah, Jeff's got an $80 billion yacht, so I'm gonna go into yacht stuff now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Cool. All right, one last question for you, Nick, and then I'd like to well, actually, before I ask that question, where can people go to get onto your newsletter? It's one of the few that I actually read.
Yeah, man. You need to go to our website, but it's hard to spell. So it's called. Anyways, man, they can go to my profile on LinkedIn, Nick Penev, like my name, and they can see the link to subscribe there. Or they can watch our webinar. So just connect on LinkedIn. They're gonna join.
Yeah, cool. All right,
Yeah,
good.
and
And
one
I
question for you, Dana.
yeah.
What do you like about my newsletter? Because I read a lot of newsletters, I get a lot of. So, what do you like for mine compared to the others? I mean, what is
Yeah,
that one
so
thing that you like?
So two things. The first one is you give the basically the TLDR, like what are the five things that are going to be going over, right? Just boom, 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 boom. Good. I know I'm interested in this one thing, so I just scroll through and I go find out about that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of things and lots of newsletters that I just have absolutely no interest in reading, and I'm not willing to spend the time to read through the newsletter to
Mm-hmm.
get to what
Mm-hmm.
I'm going after. So if I know at the top what I'm going to be reading or something that I'm interested in reading and I can go find it, that's that's what I love about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um the next thing is that it's you also you give enough information to give valuable data, but then it's also linkable to the full story or whatever. Um
It's not too much information. You don't have like a
yes.
full. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cuz
So
I
I
I'm
I guess I guess we like the same stuff, because that's how I see stuff. People don't care about long text. I mean, I'm just, I guess, the way I see things, I guess a lot of people agree with me, because people don't like everything. So you should have like a short summary. People can go and check whatever they want. And I didn't know that, but like the founder of Under Armour is reading each of my newsletters. I don't know
yeah, yeah.
why. Yeah, I have like a list of like the 3,000 of the biggest subscribers, and I'm curious why he does that, but he does read every issue that we send out. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I learned in my own newsletter, I think I'm this is month 3. I just sent out my 3rd newsletter or my 4th newsletter maybe, that all my newsletter is ecom events happening around the world, right? In-person ecom events, digital ecom events like your hack series for instance, and then like product trade shows. But the way I was doing it was the logo, the location, the time, and the a short description. But it's actually even that is too much, and people are not reading all the way through that, and my message gets clipped. But so I'll be shortening up my newsletter and just going, "Hey, in-person ecom events, this many, digital events, this many, and product trade shows, this many," and then they can go from there to see them
Yeah, yeah. By the
without all the
way,
images.
know why some newsletters have like large sections of text in it? That's actually a hack for like deliverability, because if you put like a big text and people read that, they spend more time on your newsletter, so it gives you like higher authority. But for example, mine, I don't have like huge sections of text, and we still get 70-80%. So even though it's not by the rules, probably I have stuff for everybody.
Yeah.
and they find their stuff, they read it. Some people say you shouldn't have like too many clicks. You should keep people in the newsletter because then if they leave, they never come back. But I think, I'm not thinking only for myself, I'm thinking only
Yeah.
for how I like it, because I mean, you cannot force people to like your stuff, read your stuff. So give them I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to kind of edit and put stuff. I need to cut some stuff out because last week, the nano banana crazy stuff. I had so much stuff, it was super hard to pick one topic which I'm gonna put in the newsletter. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of content, by the way. You just need to kind of summarize, see which is relevant, and I guess, and of course, I add some humor, always.
Yeah. I like the
This
humor.
is
That's the other thing I like. It's like you said earlier in the beginning of the episode, you use Snoop Dogg as your mascot for the newsletter. And, so now anytime I see Snoop, I think Nick Penev. Like, you remember I was at my craziest thing, I was at my local pizza shop, which, by the
Mhm.
way, is a, world record holder for, on several different types of pizzas, but I was at my pizza shop, and there's a little Snoop guy sitting up on the thing, and was like, "Ah, Nick Penev," and I took a picture and I emailed it to you.
Yeah, man, you're right, you're right. And even like for Easter, I did like Snoop like Easter bunny, and then the next day I saw the real pic of Snoop dressed like an Easter bunny.
No way.
He, yeah,
That's
man.
so
So I
funny.
guess no, I of
Maybe
course I don't know the guy, but I
O
guess
obviously, Snoop's reading your newsletter.
yeah, I mean he's cool guy, man. That's why I guess I like him. He's casual, this kind of stuff. And once, I had a guy who told me, Nick, stop with this stupid newsletter. I had the feeling that some ghetto boy from the hood is writing that. Stop that, man. Stop that. I said, man, just unsubscribe. I don't care what you think. I like it, and 50% of the people who read disagree with you. So,
Yeah,
anyways, man.
yeah. Well, cool. Nick, thank you very much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it, and thank you for the information that you gave here. I I think it mirrors how I personally feel, so I'm, of course, in alignment with it, but outside of that, even if I didn't agree with you on it. I definitely see correlations with what you've said and how people will come back to you because you helped them. So it is, you may be a charity, but the charity also feeds you back, right?
Yeah, no, this is just my wife's opinion. I'm a sales guy who is using charity as a way to get business. No, not from everybody. Of course, I don't make money from everybody, but nobody could be a client. But
Well, hey,
anybody
man,
could be a partner. So
yeah, it worked on me. I mean, you helped me out by doing stuff for 2 years before I ever paid you, but I paid
yeah,
you.
man. Yeah, I mean, this is the part of the community. You help out people. Eventually, they might become partner. If they become happy clients, they're gonna recommend people because I spoke with somebody who Danan recommended yesterday. So I didn't tell Danan to do that. So I didn't tell you that. So, and usually now, I mean, this is I mean, you hear about people do stuff and eventually good stuff happens. Not with everybody, Some people say, I spoke with 5 guys, nothing happened. Man, speak with 100 guys and you're gonna do stuff with 20, So it's
Yeah,
numbers game, You,
yeah, totally.
you
Yeah,
should, you should, yeah, the same with like, you cannot sell your products to everybody, but you need to sell it to a certain percentage of those guys. So if you're aiming for perfect, you're gonna get nothing. I mean,
that's true.
so that's
Yeah.
it.
Well, cool. Um, buddy, thanks again. I appreciate it. Thank you for being willing to come on to my podcast. And even it doesn't work on this. Oh man. Oh, there we goes. There we go.
Yeah, what was that, man? Yeah, this is the funniest thing I've seen in the podcast. And I just saw your shirt, Jurassic Park. I'm a big yeah, man. Everybody who's a Jurassic Park fan, even if I hear like that, I was on the beach the other day and I heard one of my neighbors watching something, and I told my wife that's Jurassic Park Series
uh,
One. So
yeah, funny story. I actually owned the Jurassic Park Jeep from not the
from the
exact same
movie,
one, but the
uh-huh.
exact same model. Yeah, it was
Okay.
the tan 1998 or something like that, tan Sahara edition Jeep. And I'd like to point out that the Jeep is actually faster than No, it's not faster than it is in the movie. It's about that speed. Yeah. If you didn't have a head start on a T-Rex, you'd get caught.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we don't want that. We want to see it in movies, but no one want to be chased by a T-Rex. That's for sure.
No,
So,
definitely not. All right, on that, I'll see you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching. See ya. Oh,
adios, guys. Bye
find
bye.
Nick Penev on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yep.